Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Stationeers. So, well, let's see. Jack Fogg asked me a simple question, which was, because I had my filtration units off for so long, how much pressure has built up into this pink pipe? And the answer is too much. So you remember the second time I smashed my suit? That's because I had an atmospheric rupture and roughly 65 MPa of pressure blew out from my pink pipe over here, and it blew out right over here. So there it is, the error of my ways. Let me just go ahead and remove that pink pipe. And in removing it, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Is remove the pink pipe from here. And let me crank out a bunch of pink pipe. I'm just going to, because I had previously removed like 6 or so to keep my intakes from venting improperly. I'm going to replace most of that now. I see you, little sneaky pipe. And then the intakes will start working again. So what I mean here is I can put these back because they're a different network now. I've separated the networks out. So those little vents there will fill passively with air in the atmosphere, but that's totally fine. Okay, so now, oh, I could make even more pink pipes. Good to know. But now I have all my filtration units on. I'm not afraid of making a lot of electrum if I need to replace the filters. So I'll keep those filter units on the whole time. Let's get some more pink pipe. And just remember to put one back. I'll eventually have a locker for that. I haven't really incorporated storage into this build, have I? Alright, so that's 1 and 2. Purple. Wait, what is... Purple's the outflow? Okay, so this is where I'm going to have my pumps. Yes, that's why the cabling looks that way. Am I stuck? No, I'm not stuck. Okay, so at this point, let's take a look at where I am. We have one pink pipe here that will need to be replaced once we're ready to go. But I am not yet ready for that, of course. Whoa, let's not yeet that across the room. Oh, and then I pulled the filter out. I'm all thumbs today. So, let's take a quick look. We've got nothing in that pipe there. Power this off. You know what? Actually, I don't really mind. Well, no, let's power this off too. Let's not kill the batteries that we have. Until I need to do more smelting and whatnot, we can power everything off. There's gonna be a little bit of pressure left because I opened that door once or twice. But there shouldn't be anything in the pipe analyzer. Now this vent here, I would need a remote switch for. I'm not gonna worry about that at this moment. I can leave this on to pump out the rest of whatever's in here. What is in here? Barely anything, just mostly Martian atmosphere. Trace amounts of it. Okay, so we just finished up the cooling wiring. So now all of the coolers are now, or not wiring, but plumbing, the air ducts. What we need to do now is to wire them up to blue. Easier said than done, I suppose. So I do believe I made a giant batch of wires and put them away. Let's go retrieve that. Did I? Yes. Oh no, this is heavy cable. Maybe I'm having like a senior moment, although I'm certainly not old enough to have one of those, I don't think. Okay, more cables then. And don't have any copper in there. I've got my 112 copper in here, though. Anything I'm not using, I can just put away. There's a lot of bricks of stuff that could be merged. I did have some other input besides Jack Fogg. So another one was from Broken Soul and Danny Lee, which was to switch my valves up in here. The valves that this pump switch. So switch these two screens. Let me power this back on to put pressure over here. So let me do that real quick. But maybe not while I'm cranking out oodles and oodles and oodles of cables. I will need a lot of cables, actually, to wire up. I really thought I had a stack of 50. Did I use it all? I'm just gonna do a quick fly around. I don't know. I don't see it. One of you will mention where it is, and I'll feel dumb. Oh, so that unplanned depressurization sort of flung some stuff. So before I forget that I've got stuff that was flung, let me go collect it. I haven't fully checked if that was the only hole. Usually it's just one. A weak point of rupture. Yeah, at a quick glance, I don't see any others. Alright, so let's stop the cables. I'll print more if I need more. Because it gets a little messy, as you can see, without a stacker. I feel like I'm playing like cookie clicker here. Collecting all the little cables. I've got to say, not that it matters to me, but I've never really fully understood the clicker genre. It's like, I don't know. Just maybe not my style of game. And I'll probably never understand it. Alright, so we've got our 50 cables. But I was going to reprogram those two consoles first. We also, I think, have the paint literally sitting in our backpack, so cables are now correct color. And let's grab the data disk. Switching these two around is real simple. So the reason for this is because this pump switch is for pressure. So this really should be pressure. And then this could be temperature. And that was a very easy fix. Now it's all set. Power off. Close the door. We don't really need to close the door, actually, because it's not being vacuumed. So I just leave it open. These are all things that I could fully automate in the future, for sure. Let's check. No pressure left. This volume pump has pumped out everything. So now the furnace is vacuumed, and everything after the furnace is also vacuumed out. So that's pretty cool. That's a little bit of a milestone. Let's not use those. Okay. Now it is wiring up the AC units, and then I sort of asked you guys what I should work on next, and I think that there wasn't a definitive answer, but sort of the answer I got most was, hey, it'd be really cool if you worked on hydroponics, because just, you know, that's obviously the last big thing about this base before pressurization. So that sounds good to me. Nope. I didn't mean to do that. Is that gonna work properly? Let's see. Yes, it is gonna work properly. Cool. Alright, so that's one. Now, for... That one's impossible to do right now. because its power and data is literally on top of green cable. So this is gonna get a little messy. Alright, let's put those blue cables away. Oh god. Okay, let's combine these green cables, and this is gonna have to go up a silly amount. Or maybe just in. That might even look better. No, well, okay. Compromises are being made here. Pretty layout versus functional. Function is gonna always win for me. I don't know, this is a pretty good compromise. It didn't get too ugly. Yeah, it didn't get too ugly. Okay, well, that's not terrible. And of course, it works, so call it a success. Alright, then let's go ahead and retrieve our properly colored cables. What we need to plug in is this unit here. Oops. There we go. And I can pick up the cables right here. Let's put my wire cutters in my hands. Done. See, that was sort of an elegant solution. And now this works. 250 watts. 150 watts. Okay, perfect. It was flashing because there's no coolant in the coolant pipe. Then it might not want to try to cool Martian atmosphere. I don't know. But, okay, that's 2 of 6. Next up, this one. That one's a little bit more, no, that's not that bad. What I can do is just have it go into the frame. I'll have both go into the frame, and then that means... I kind of like how that frame there like spun around dramatically. Like, oh, I'm dead. Like a really bad actor doing a Romeo and Juliet or something. Okay, so we need to pick up... I think... Oof. I'm trying to think of how to run a cable... Well, first off, I'm gonna make a quick little change here because these frames are not permanent. They were placed here so that I could place IC units. I'll put them back when I need to do that last battery IC unit. God, I am littering. Let me tidy myself up a little. So now I have to... Oh, actually, you know what? That comes after the battery. Yeah, so I could pick up blue right there. That's actually not that far of a run to make. And then just run this cable above the airlock. No problem. See? As soon as you remove some walls, you can see a little bit better, and you can make better decisions. I'll just have it run straight up. Done. So now that air conditioning unit should be functional. Done. And it should, of course, read 250 up there. 250. Brilliant. Alright, and then this one was going to... I'm just going to run the cable above the air conditioner, or the airlock. and hook up with the original cable that I just ran, and then we'll have 4 of 6 done. It is looking like a mess of cables, but that's not like super avoidable in this game. You just have to be comfortable with there being a jungle of cables. But they're properly colored, and I know what they all are for. And this should read 250, and it does, or 255. No, 250. Cool. 4 of 6. Let's combine our cables. So now we have full stack of blues. And last but not least, the top floor. This will be a little bit easier. But for us to see what we're doing, again, let's de-weld the frame. Alright, so we have this blue cable here that I could grab, or I could hook into. God, they really do look purple in my inventory. It's not just me, right? Like, they straight up look purple. Alright, so to make the most efficient run possible, I'm just going to have them connect to one another junction here. And of course, all those cables are going to be behind walls and stuff. We're not gonna end up having to see them or anything. And then another thing I should probably do is put all of the sensors, the gas sensors that I have, on the same network. So these two function now. Click on, click off. So what's interesting about this is we have sort of two cable networks. We've got the heavy cables and the light cables, or the small cables, running off of, and the heavy cables bypass the APC, they bypass the transformer. There's really no way these heavy cables are ever going to carry enough charge to blow out. That's just not something in the realm of possibility. Not really. But the real issue is, yeah, writing logic to it. I'm going to have to treat the heavy cables like data as well. It'll be a little complicated to do the logic for the heating and cooling. Not that bad, though. Alright, so here's my gas sensors. Already, I can tell you I'm going to need some additional cables. So although I made like 60 or something, more are going to be necessary. So I want all 3 gas sensors hooked up now. So top floor gas sensor might be... Oh, that's going to be annoying. That's going to be a long run. A really long run. Ooh, yikes. I say that because, well, A, it's true, and B, it's all the way up here. So I need to, A, run it behind frames, which I absolutely loathe to do. And here's why. I immediately ran into problems here. So now I have to disassemble a window. Yeah, I hate having to do this. Maybe I won't. Is there a more elegant solution? That is what I should be asking myself. No, don't disassemble the elevator. Just this wall. Well, let me analyze this situation. I could run that sensor through the ceilings and hook up to this blue cable here. I suppose that's the least worst. So instead of going that way, we're going to go the other way. And then this cable's a little bit more serviceable, but of course, as soon as we put a ceiling in, it becomes less serviceable. Again, if our transformers and all that jazz are doing their proper work, we should never really have a problem with burnout, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do everything perfect. Okay. Blah, it's a mess. I really should have invested in a stacker. The sort of concept I have here is your first temporary base, you just have enough to survive in. And then you do no more improvements on it. And the concept behind that is if you're constantly improving your starter base, you're never going to move out of your starter base. Which is why I haven't touched it. It's almost a rule at this point that I'm just not improving it because... you know, it's like a junker car. You don't want to put too much work into it because you can't live... Well, this analogy falls apart already. But yeah, it's like a junker car, and as such, I have no interest in fixing it up further or whatever. Alright, so that was a lot of cables. We made like 70... or more than 75. Okay, back to the wires. I'm going to have to put one of these stacks away so I can free up my hands for the cutting tool. Alright, so this gas sensor is now accessible on the data network. Oddly enough, why is my external kPa... I thought Martian atmosphere was 2 kPa. Maybe it's 1. I mean, I'm not talking in reality, I'm just talking for this game. Okay, again, probably the same method here. Running a cable to the front, picking up data somewhere up front. I can even have it go forward and then up.
Jetpack on.
Come on. There. That gas sensor's all set. Yeah, now it's reading 2 kPa. I think it's because it got so cold, the pressure dropped. I don't know. I'm just looking at my pollutant is now in the MPa range. Got a lot of nitrogen. I'm excited about that. I have twice as much nitrogen as oxygen. I'd like to have as close to Earth-like atmosphere in this base. You don't need to. You don't need to mimic it, but it's a nice sort of goal. Because... I don't know. Because... Because I say so. It's a nice goal because I say so. Then this last cable I will pick up right from the transformer box. And again, all of these cables are going to be hidden behind ceiling panels in the finished version of the base, so... I kind of enjoy the aesthetics of a skeleton base, one without walls and the like, because it shows the amount of effort. Once you hide it behind all the, you know, once you hide it behind wall segments and stuff, you don't really appreciate how complex the system is. Alright, so now these gas sensors are all wired up. If I've done this correctly, and I do believe I have, what I need to do is find a logic reader. Well, first let's write to these sensors. I don't know if I ever labeled them correctly. Yeah. Gas sensor floor 1. What did I call these? I'm just gonna call this, when you enter, it will be left. I'm always going to look at from the inside. So right. Floor 1 wall heater. Right floor 1 wall cooler. Left floor 1 wall heater. Left floor 1 wall cooler. And floor 1 gas sensor. Cool. Alright, let's just copy this. And
Jetpack on.
go gadget jetpack. Right floor 2 wall heater. Right floor 2 wall cooler. Bet you know what's coming next.
Jetpack on.
Left floor 2 wall heater. Left floor 2 wall cooler. Floor 2 gas sensor. Continuing this trend and extrapolating, you know exactly what I'm doing next. Again, you guys must be mind readers, right? That's what it is. Right floor 3 wall heater. Right floor 3 wall cooler. Left floor 3 wall cooler. Left floor 3 wall heater, and floor 3 gas sensor. Cool. Right on. This frame up here definitely could be disassembled. I might add it in sometime in the future, actually, funny enough, because we haven't installed lights, have we? The logic memory and the lights I'm going to actually put away, even though I just mentioned installing them, because I don't yet need them. Now, the thing I want to check or test for is hooking up logic and plugging into this blue network. Everything should be visible, right? If I did my homework. So let's plug one in and see if that's the case. And these cable analyzers, I might not even ever need them, but for now I'm not going to recycle them, just put them away. So I'm not saying I'm doing the logic here, I'm just making sure that everything's interconnected. I don't think I screwed up anywhere, but this is proof of my doing it right for once. That furnace that I built, boy did it have some bugs. And QL improvements and stuff like that. Okay, so, I don't even need to plug this bad boy in. What IC? Yeah, I'm gonna need to label my IC housings because I'm gonna have multiples of them soon. I'll have an IC housing for the LED tracking, and then I'm gonna also have an IC housing for cooling. So it's this IC housing I'm pretty sure it's referring to. So IC housing, what did I call the other ones? Vitals LED. So this would be HVAC LED IC housing. And is that, should be, that's what I saw. Yeah, HVAC LED IC housing, transformer, batteries, all 3 sensors, all 3 coolers, 6 coolers. I won't see the heaters though. They're not on this network. If I want them on this network, no. So what I'm gonna need to do is to place my eventual IC housing that controls everything, so that I can. Input. I'm trying to think. Well, I can always brainstorm this problem in the future, but basically, I could have IC logic for the heating separate from the cooling.
Jetpack.
That'd be okay. Or combine them somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Some of the builds here in Stationeers requires some careful deliberation and thought, which is not necessarily the most entertaining process for, you know, a Let's Play in the middle of the video. So every now and then I leave problems to sort of solve off camera. Not that I'm saying it wouldn't be helpful to see my thought process, but generally then I share those thought processes with you once I've figured stuff out. So one more thing, actually I shouldn't have put that down, is... Oh god. Okay, well I'll fix this later. So when I'm gonna do the hydroponics up top here, and I am, I'm gonna do it 2 blocks high. This is so that it's a more airy and spacious area, and I can put larger objects in this space. Yes, so that was not my idea. This was Talon's idea, one of my patrons. And I think it would look nice to have a sort of high-ceilinged room. It does add, of course, some volume to the base, but I'm totally okay adding volume to this specific room at least. Alright, so we are going to... Actually, let me just sawzall everything. The only... Why I said, oh god, was I had just run the wires for that gas sensor, and basically I'm going to have to rerun that wiring, because this ceiling, I am raising the roof. So what I'm going to do is, right here, I will put a composite wall in lieu of a window, and then it can actually be somewhat of an interesting crawl space. Now, the only problem with raising up everything by a tile is during the, what is this, nighttime? Well, I guess they're going to be windows, so maybe it's not going to be that much of a problem, but the solar power panels are going to low-key get blocked, is I guess what I was trying to say. I'm fine with them being blocked. It's not a whole lot of power potential I'm losing. Oops, that was wrong. But, you know, because base designs adapt over time, you can't account for every possible expansion. And I think it will look like a much nicer room when it's all high up. But, I guess that's maybe a matter of opinion. You guys will see what you think. Having a nice double floor. Now, this is not something I would advise you to do on every floor. It does, like I said, adds significant volume to your base. You essentially double the volume. But it does make it a more comfortable location. The downsides, of course, besides the volume issue, is doing anything on your roof is going to be beastly. So if you want to mess with a light on the ceiling, you're going to have to use a jetpack. And the issue with using a jetpack indoors is jetpacks, unless... What I could do is when I have the right composition of gases that I'm going to be breathing in the base, I can fill my jetpack with that gas as a propellant, which I think should work, because jetpacks by default are actually just straight nitrogen. I don't know if you knew that, but Yes. So... And then I'm also going to want walls. Oh, and there's cables in there. How'd they get in there? I don't know. Sneaky little cables. Just pop in everywhere. You need a whole lot of silicon for this dear base here. To put glass everywhere. I think the more glass you use, the prettier it is. But of course, if you're bad about pressurization, glass is the first to shatter, that's for sure. Alright, let's see. Wall. Crank some of these out as well. Maybe I won't have them cranking out right next to the sheets. What I'm going to do while that makes some wall units, because walls take a little bit longer, is tend the farm. I haven't done that in a while. I did get a tip relating this farm from Turtle Sandwich, saying that basically a super overpowered food source in this game is milk. And you make milk with, believe it or not, ferns and soybeans. I'm not really having a nutrition problem. I have plenty of food, and this teeny little farm has fed me for forever. If we take a look, it is mostly CO2, a little bit of oxygen. I think I've set this up in such a way that it's a set and forget situation. Because obviously I haven't tended to this. I haven't bothered to mess with literally anything. I have just built it, and I'm profiting off of it. It's a good little starter project, but yeah, it's... If you're wondering if this would eventually fill with oxygen, it doesn't. Its passive filtration works just fine. Alright, so 336. Bye-bye, farm. Thank you for keeping me fed. Open. We're at nil. Come on. Thank you. Stupid airlock. Alright, I already have a stack of potatoes, but corn I don't. Ooh, we're up to 20 corn. And soybeans. There we go. That's probably enough walls for now. Almost the same amount of walls as plastic sheets. That worked out nice. And let's just finish this off. So, composite windows. And then we'll have to... I'm going to leave a gap here because we're going to need to put the gas sensor down. So it's a spot that we're going to rip up in a second anyway. Put the sheets on the windows. Is my jetpack low or something? No, I have plenty of propellant. I'm just slowly losing altitude. Great. And then these will be walls here, so I'm not going to worry about them. Yeah, I would already say that that feels more farm-like. Now, I was planning on having this be like a little up crawl space thing. I don't know what I'm going to put up there, but I'll leave the option. I'll leave it open. So let's, before I end this episode, because I'm running low on time, let's go ahead and remove some of the logic I/O stuff I have over here, because obviously it's not going here. In fact, I'll probably do this in all IC chips. And then rewire the sensor up top. And if I'm rewiring the sensor, hopefully I have enough on me to do it. So what we'll need is a frame, some sheets, a welder and some gas, my trusty screwdriver. If you actually consider how often you're like changing tools and whatnot, it's almost intimidating. Alright, gas sensors can be pointed towards where they're going to be cabled. And I could probably have done that on other floors, and maybe I should go fix that too, because that might shorten the run length. I'll take a look, see if it makes a difference. Now, I would say one of my only complaints about this game is soft lighting is hard to come by. All lights are very directional and sort of harsh on the eyes. So, oh. Yeah, and then this one area here. Okay, I'm just gonna get out ahead and move this now. I was just thinking out aloud, if we put the sensor there, we can't have a window, and I want it to be a window, even if the sensor's like floating, looking like it's glued to a window, because a window will allow, maybe the center. I think this, and this won't be windows. Yeah, those three aren't going to be windows. They will be ceiling tiles, and that way we can allow for ceiling lights and stuff like that. And we'll just have windows else, pretty much the other, all but 3 spots. But like I said before, I call this. Oh no, that's pointing the right way. I think maybe bottom floor wasn't. Nope, bottom floor is as well. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna move this one back now that I've decided to have a top floor non-window. Yeah, I'm so indecisive, aren't I? Okay. Well, I would say it's looking good. It's really come together. I can't really say how many more episodes it's gonna take to get this ready. But all of your feedback, all of your suggestions, they really have helped to push this little project here, Project Living on Mars, a reality. So thank you all for your tips, tricks, feedback, suggestions, IC logic code, all that beautiful, beautiful jazz. Next episode, I might either do the IC logic for heating and cooling, or work more towards hydroponics. There is multiple ways to grow crops in this game, and I think I want to demonstrate all of them. So far, I've only really done the original hydroponic trays, which was the first way to do it. But I am, of course, interested in the other ways as well. If you, like I said, have any feedback for me, drop me a line, and I do hope that you tune in next time. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you all later. Adios.